Hey there, fellow governors and mayors alike. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Dustland Delivery, Episode 4, Learning Governance. You find an old train sitting on a railroad. So, I can do some recon. There's no doubt these guys are bandits, so I'm going to sneak away. That was because I had a high level of focus. Focus 18 and Focus 21. Saved us from having to burn a bunch of fuel to get out of Dodge. Greg, thank you for the resub. Alright, here we are in another location, and I leveled up. I'll take crafting up to 20. Fisherman, you have a 0 charm. Nah, forget it. Alright, how about a VIP suite? It's a lot of money, but it will help recover. Plus, there's nowhere else to really rest in the swamp. So the fact that they'll allow us to sleep here is honestly a godsend, if anything. I will buy one more medkit to replace the one we used for the infection. And then let's take a look at the map. Produces medkit, rubber, salt, building materials. And building materials are needed at Mountain Pass Station. So we could buy building materials here and bring them all the way to Mountain Pass. So let's go ahead and do that. I will, with a small caveat, building materials are relatively heavy, so buying a whole lot of them can be a bit of a problem in terms of being overburdened. Because as you can see here, 10 building materials weigh 3,000, which is more than even the deliveries that we have to make. So just be careful when you're buying a lot of building materials, because it can definitely become a problem where you aren't able to move if you buy too many of them at once. So here are the other animals for the animal seller. A parrot, a falcon, and a cat. The reason I'm not looking to take on any more animals is you have to feed them for any of the benefit from the animals, and because I have 3 crew members, I want to pare down my crew members probably to 2 before I have a constant pet to feed. All right, arrived at Little Lake. A lot of experience. I don't think we had anything to trade to them, though. But they do sell tires, so I'll stock up a little bit more on tires, because they're pretty cheap here. And I'll search it once before leaving. So we got some more fuel, mystery liquid, scrap paper, pig iron. I'm going to cool down the engine, and then set on out. Alright, I'm going to stop. We're not really moving anywhere because of this dust storm. So trying to drive here is just going to waste a lot of fuel and we're not going to get anywhere, so I'm just going to do some resting. And the dust storm passed, so now we can set out. For certain weather conditions, there's really not much reason to try to drive through them. Dust storms are definitely the worst because they super overheat your truck, and they also kill your horsepower. So it's best almost in every scenario just to not drive. So we're closing in on the ramshackle landfill. Doing some scouting, hoping to get fibers. And cosplayer has 2 trait points, so 1 more trait point. until we can maybe get rid of nidophobia. So 2 fibers got picked up there. I will search one more time. And I'm definitely want to do some R&R when we get to the Mountain Pass gas station, because my character is pretty stressed. Alright, Scholar leveled up again. Bring her crafting up to 16. Alright, this is a little expensive for stress reduction, but I'll pay for it. And the girls are kind of stressed too. So let's see if, no, there's no... Oh no, the machinist. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. Did she just get No. Okay, I misread that. What did that say? The machinist has started to become infected. Yeah, that happened a long time ago. Alright. Store-wise, we brought building materials with us, and they can't afford them all. They have $22.96, so I have about 1,500 more than they can afford. So what's going to be ideal here is to buy some stuff, to fork over some scrap to them, buying things that we could either trade later on down the trade route, or that we could use. So let's take a look at what we can buy. So I'm eventually heading over to Taranis, which needs salt. And this place, I think, sells salt. No, it doesn't. Okay, what else does Taranis need? Sugar, beer, bread, seasoning, pre-fall electronics, squab, pheasant, quail, rabbit. Squab and pheasant can be bought here and sold there. So let's do that. Some squab, some pheasant, and then... They still don't have enough money. We need to spend about 600 more, so I'm going to buy 600 in rations. So then they can afford all of our building materials. Oh, the cosplayer infected the machinist while hooking up? Oh, man. That's unfortunate for him. It's not my problem, though. Alright. Get a standard room, because I'm not that stressed. And it's a lot cheaper. So, on our way back to Taranis, let's swing by Starlight City. And then we're heading towards Wheatstock, which wants rations, wood, dried vegetable salt, salted pork, and dried chicken. I don't think... there is wood here that we could buy to sell to Wheatstock. And I do have some carry weight, so let's do that as well. And then, yep, then we're all set. That's our path. Alright, I don't have any good hunters in the crew, so there's no point in stopping at a thicket to hunt. I've been skipping a lot of those, which is like fishing and hunting, because I don't have any good fishermen or hunters, so there's really no point. You've arrived in Starlight City. Once a small village, this place has fallen into decline. Maybe the power of free enterprise could return it to its former glory. Gotten a whole lot of experience. Let's go see the mayor. Entering the city hall, you're greeted by an unbearable stench, like someone was storing rotten meat in an old gym sock. Ugh. There's trash everywhere. Sitting on a particularly large pile of trash is a slovenly man with a scraggly beard. Upon seeing the mayor, he scrambles to his feet. Guess this is the mayor. We're here to claim a land deed. The disheveled mayor reads through the deed. Egods! Not only do you own this land, this fair city, you are the owner of the entire city. He's surprisingly eloquent for a man who looks and smells like he just formed out of a sewer runoff. He flashes a grin, missing a few teeth, and proudly pats his garbage pile throne like it was a prized racehorse. Henceforth, this city shall be in your service. Just like that, what's the catch? Why, whatever do you mean? You are the rightful owner of this city, and thus I am honor-bound to serve you. It is only natural. The mayor looks genuinely hurt by your insinuation. How many people live here? Alas, it is just myself at the moment. The last family left a week ago on when their fields grew barren. What assets do we have? Alas, our coffers and silos are empty at the moment. We have a few morsels of food lying around, but I just ate them. Let's get started. Getting the city up and running won't be easy. You might be able to salvage some construction materials from all the debris scattered around the town. Acquire building materials 5. Hint, upgrading buildings in the city will provide you with a steady stream of resources. Task started, main story, turning the lights back on. Crew gained 300 experience. So I am going to remove a bad trait from her, and she lost introversion, which is not what I was hoping for. And then I'm going to level up as well, and I'm going to level up my attack. So, while we're here, I'm going to talk a little bit about city management. So, with mostly building materials, you can build structures within the city. So, for instance, if I wanted to build an overgrown farm, which would provide a farming and an orchard job, I would need to spend 1 material, and the town would need 5 prosperity ahead of time. From a bigger picture, the more prosperous your town is, the more likely it is to get attacked by raiders. So what a city does is it allows you to employ people to produce goods automatically, or periodically, I should say, like usually once a week or so, producing water or ore or food or whatever. It depends on what you choose to construct, but it also means that you will need to defend it, which means that you need people with like guns and weapons as guardsmen. So there's a lot of potential value in investing your scrap into your city, but you also need to hire the right people to be able to defend it. Because if you don't, then raiders come and kill your people and take your stuff, to make it oversimplified. So that is essentially city management. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to poll you guys about what I should do next, and I'm going to complete my current deliveries and then work on whatever you vote on over there. It's also worth noting that given Wei's health conditions and how little I get along with Yanni, both of these people might be best used in the city rather than in my truck, because I don't think that it's super useful to have them in the truck still. I'm not getting along with them, and well, I'm getting along with Wei, but she has a health condition that makes her a little dangerous to keep driving with. I might get her killed. All right, let's go ahead and repair the truck's hull and then move out. So your cities also have an apartment that you can rest in for free. So that is one benefit. You don't have to set up a camp and you don't have to pay an inn. Can you rehire a person back in the truck once they put in the city? Yes, you can manage your crew or personnel however you wish. You can fire them, you can put them in a city, you can do whatever. You come across an old gas station, dilapidated facility, suggests it was abandoned long ago, but someone was using it recently. Let's approach them. And they are honest caravan folk, so I can trade with them. Let's buy food. Are there building limits like star sector planets? Yeah, a little bit. Where there's a finite amount of stuff that you can build depending on prosperity levels and material, and that way you kind of have to decide how you want to develop your city. Your city can't be like best at everything. You have arrived in Wheatstock. Again, yeah, we've been here before. But Scholar and Cosplayer hasn't. Oh, and speaking of Scholar, she leveled up. So we'll give her some speech. I'm going to get a standard room. And then in the bar, there's no one to hire. All right. Well, we brought, what did we bring here for sale? Wood, right? There we go. So we have wheat, sugarcane, and tires. And Crude Town needs tires, so maybe we buy tires here and deliver them to Crude Town. So I'll buy, let's say, 24 tires. It looks like you guys want me to improve the settlement. So what we're going to need for that is mostly building materials. So that's what I'm going to work on once I finish this last delivery. It'd also be wise for me to look for other people to hire, especially someone that is good at combat. Because as I build up the city, we're going to need someone to defend it. Now, I think that there's a threshold. I'm going off memory here. But I think as long as your prosperity is below maybe 15, you never get attacked. But as soon as you grow beyond 15, you become an attack target. I think the number's 15. It's definitely under 18, I can tell you that much. So you're definitely going to want to get some sort of defense force in any settlement that you build up before your prosperity exceeds 18. With that said, here is the map. So I'm going to have you guys decide on what city I should invest in. So there's Starlight City, which is the central. Then there is the eastern city of Daybreak. There is the northeastern city of Steelton. And then the sort of west central Monte Morte. Now most of the and the things that will change depending on it is Steelton is surrounded by swamps. So we're going to want some like swamp terrain gear on our truck if we want to go to Steelton. Monte Muerte is surrounded by mountains, so same deal, but mountains. Then Starlight City has forests and swamps around it. And here has a bunch of mountain passes, and then it's also surrounded. It's kind of like geographically isolated due to the mountains, so it's harder to get to. So I'm going to have you guys vote on that as I make this last delivery. So we have to head over to Taranis. So if we're headed to Taranis, is there anything we can buy here that's useful? Oh, the tires, right. I bought them. So let's head over to Taranis. Fulfill that last delivery, and then head over to Crewtown and sell the tires. I'm also looking for like another crewmate that isn't, you know, like a zombie waiting to infect me if I hook up with her. Oh, and more clothes? Sure. Is there any hope of curing her? I don't want to say because of spoilers. Stop. No, maybe I'll just keep driving through this. We're very close. And there we go. Alright, taking a look at the bar. There is a millsec person able to be hired. A Kip, a dancer, so she's a performer who's bloodthirsty, so she fights. She prefers being in a city. And she's out of shape. An out-of-shape, bloodthirsty dancer. Oh, I'm so confused as to what you are. Not hiring you. And then there's a technician named Chopper. I'm gonna go out on a whim and hire the technician. Alright, let's take a look at her. Sociable, peckish, and plain. So you're less likely to fall in love with someone who's plain. But at least I like her already. Maybe I'll try to get rid of that negative trait. And you guys want me to build up Monte Morte, the western city. Okay, sounds good. I will head there. So hopefully I can have some relationship with this. She looks very scary. Okay. So with that in mind, one thing I know that we're going to need a lot of to initially build up a city is building material. So I'm going to buy 10 building material to invest in Monte Morte once we get there. I'm going to sell some bread here because it's in demand. Sell some pheasant, which I'm sure I forgot to a long time ago. Sell the squab. They have 4K left over, so I'm going to sell 2 pre-fall electronics. I might be overloaded. Yeah, I'm overloaded as a result. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade my storage capacity, bringing my total storage capacity up to 19K now. I'm going to get frisky with this veteran here. Ooh, that's expensive, but okay. Because I don't want to get too stressed. And I became friends with her. I guess that's good. So other things. The new person has very high intellect, high craft, high focus. She is a great cabin mate as a result. Those are the stats that you really, really want. She just doesn't have any crafting stats, which is totally ideal for cabin mate. So I think what I'm going to do is try to remove bad traits from her. Alright. Well, now that that last delivery is done, a promise is a promise. We're going to sell tires at Crewtown and then go over to Monte Morte to start investing in it. So taking a look at Monte Morte, what we really want is a place to buy building materials nearby so that we can build up Monte Morte more easily. And it looks like there is a building materials place just next to it, which is great. The middling mountain rest shop sells building materials. So that's awesome. As does High Command. So, Monte Morte, here we come. So if we're heading over to there, let's buy 2 more clothing, because trading clothing for pre-fall electronics is amazing. I'm kind of tired, but I have 3 other people that can drive, so that's not too much of a concern. Fuel, clothing, milk. We're heading here, so anywhere between here and there that needs fuel, clothing, or milk. Clunkertown needs milk, so we'll go from here to Clunkertown directly, trying to avoid the swamps. So we're a milk truck. I'm going to buy 45 units of milk. Our food is fine. Our water is a little low. Is there somewhere on the way over to buy water? So we can buy food at Taranis. Is there anywhere to buy water? We can buy water at Clunkertown. So we'll go to Taranis, buy some more rations, go to Clunkertown, avoiding the swamps, sell the milk, buy some water, and then head over to our new city that we're going to invest in. Awesome. Airdog, thank you for the resub. Dust storm, let's stop. We're a little low on water, so I don't want to use up all our water having to chill the dust storm. We found an AFV. Let's search it. And it had some ammo. Not a lot of ammo, though. Are there any mechanics able to get other traders to work on you passively? Yes. Tiny spoiler, but once you build up a city, you can create trade agreements with other cities. So let's say your city produces ore. You can create a trade agreement to fill a certain amount of ore every week to that other trade city by creating a caravan where you trade the ore and then they give you scrap or something. So there is trade between cities once you are a mayor and you have a city that is worth trading with. Might as well check if any of the junkers here have stuff. We did want a lot of iron, so I'm just going to outright buy it. And then let's see if any of the deliveries bring us up that way, because that would be really convenient. Because investing in a town will eventually make you money, but it's really expensive to set up initially, because you have to invest so much resources into it. Wow, all of these quests bring me way far south. God, all of them are way... They're clustered together, but they're totally in the wrong direction. Oh my god. Yeah, forget it. All these people want me to go to the same place, and it's not the place I want to go. Alright. Fine. So we came over here to buy rations. And I'll sell even more pre-fall electronics to keep my scrap up. Another thing I might want to make is a rain harvester. So I'm going to learn that because we're in a place that has a library. Because it's currently raining, and then I'm going to craft it. And install it on the truck. So the advantage of the rain harvester is you can harvest some clean water when you harvest the rain, which can be really helpful. So if we leave the city, I can then collect rainwater. So we gained 1 clean water, 4 wastewater. So it gives you something to do when it's raining, which would otherwise slow your truck down. So yeah, I'm like spending food, but I'm actually gaining net water, which then can be used to cool the truck. So I have 26 wastewater collected, and I collected like 5 clean water. So you can use wastewater to either boil it for clean water or use it to cool your engine. An airplane camp. Let's do some recon. They don't seem like dangerous folks. Cool. Let's trade. And we wanted fiber for clothing, so I'll trade for fiber. Taking a look at the clothing. At this point, I'm probably most invested in Chopper, the technician. And we're going to want things that help her intellect, her crafting, her focus, and her attack. She has kind of lower attack than all the other stats. So, for clothing, we have a pretty decent amount of materials, but I'm trying to think. Maybe headwear? So we can make a thinking cap, but I don't think she would really benefit from a thinking cap. A safety helmet would be good, but we'd have to be in a library to learn how to make it, because that would add crafting. What's her virtue? Oh, her virtue is quite high. Oh, okay. That's good. I was worried that it was the opposite end, and we weren't going to be able to get along. I could also give her sunglasses as for charm, especially if she's going to be a cabin mate. That would be probably ideal. And then try to hook her up with some sort of melee weapon. So if she could also go for another crowbar, like I have, because she wants attack and craft. So I need to make 2 metal clubs for that. So I'm just going to do that right now. So 2 metal clubs plus a connector, which I have 14 of, makes a crowbar. Sweet. So here you go, melee crowbar. That raises her crafting and attack. And the higher your crafting, the more likely you are to get a higher stat thing that you crafted. So we got like a base crowbar there, but there was a chance for an advanced or like a legendary crowbar, depending on crafting skill. So having really high crafting can be very helpful. All right, let's stop and cool the engine because it is about to cook. And then keep going. I think between the 4 people in the cabin, we can probably make it there. And then to use the apartments in Monte Muerte to rest, so we don't have to camp on the road. But I am watching this stress and fatigue climb. She's doing a pretty good driving. I don't have any good fishermen, so we'll keep moving. What about guns? We can consider making guns later on. They're a little bit more expensive, because you have to keep them ammoed up. Alright, so it looks like everyone's fatigued at this point. I'm driving and fatigued, and Clunkertown doesn't have an inn. We might want to just camp. I thought we could make it, but I don't think we're going to. No point in having the whole crew fatigued and with lowered stats. Alright. So in Clunkertown, we brought milk. They can't afford it all, but only barely. So I could just buy like buy a little water, and then they'll be able to afford all my milk. Oh, they have coffee beans here. Delicious. So there are components that we can craft to help with terrain here. So taking a look at terrain, if we had tire chains, it would help, or improve tire chains, it would help with hill horsepower impacts. So because Monte Muerte is up in the hills, these would be really good things to work towards, which need widgets, pre-fall materials, and that would help to negate the -2 horsepower impact for being in the hills. So that is a good thing to work towards. If you're taking a look at the bars, the top bar is hunger, then fatigue, then stress, then thirst. Hunger and thirst are easy to fulfill as long as you have food and water in your truck. Fatigue is sleeping, and stress is however you want to relieve stress. It depends on it depends on the strategy that you take. And Dennis Key, thank you for the gifted subs. Cheers. Alright, I'm just going to escape this fight so we don't end up killing away. And we are almost in Monte Muerte. You've arrived at Monte Muerte. An abandoned city at the entrance of a vast canyon filled with amenities and resources. Its location deep in the mountain made it a poor prospect for settlers, leading to its decay. Tons of experience as a result. This city is completely abandoned. There's not a soul in sight. All the buildings have long since fallen into disrepair. You could claim this place for yourself. Once you've got it repaired in buildings, you could get citizens to move in and produce things for you. Alright, so one thing I was going to do is remove a random bad trait, and we lost Plain, which is exactly what I was hoping to do. So she's no longer Plain. Scholar, you are going to get crafting, and then manage the city. So building abandoned apartments. So the structures that exist here now are like here, and the structures that we currently have don't offer any jobs. There's nothing to do. They're too far in disrepair. So one thing that we could do is, if we take a look at the two people that we want to drop off, one has pretty good very good intellect, decent crafting, decent foraging, and the other is fairly well-rounded with like cooking, crafting, speech, all that stuff. So what we could do in this case is to try to add facilities that offer them work that they are capable of doing. So I'm going to invest in some rundown defenses, and then some solid defenses. So the rundown defenses gives one defense job, and I could, like, let's say, assign Cosplayer to it, because she has an attack of 15, and then if I give her, like, decent weapons, like if I take this crowbar out, not that I want to give her necessarily a crowbar, because she doesn't need crafting. If I craft her, let's say a crude rifle, and we made an advanced crude rifle, and then try to make her a makeshift sword. So here's her makeshift sword. Oh, you know, I'm going to take her glasses off because she no longer needs it, and I'll give them to Chopper. Now, if someone comes to attack, she has a chance to defend. So the chance of attack is 0 if your prosperity is lower than 10. Okay, so the threshold was 10. Got it. So if we take a look at the managing cities in the jobs, she is in good spirits, and she will attack. She will defend our city if we're attacked. Of course, our prosperity is only 3. It's lower than 10, so there's no chance of that. But at least I have someone on defense now. The other thing I would need to do is to drop off some ammo, because she can't shoot it in approaching enemies with no bullets. So there's some ammo for her. It would also be wise, in case anyone gets wounded in a defense, to drop off some medkits. If you're wondering, people in towns don't need food or water. That's like magically supplied to them. But really nice that you don't have to supply that yourself, trust me. Alright, so some other buildings. The people that we have left would be Scholar. And Scholar has some pretty good crafting and pretty good speech. So I'm going to put her on procurement. So if you take a look at the jobs, the procurement line is to procure ore, which is, I don't think it says here, but it's a speech job. A water pump is a farming job. Farm is a farming job. Abandoned apartments would be good to build just for the prosperity for the abandoned procurement office. So let's do that. I'm going to make the apartments, which raises our prosperity up to 5. And then the procurement office, which is not going to add to our prosperity, but it's going to add 2 new jobs to our town. So then I go to the jobs here, and you can see there's 2 procurement jobs, which is a speech job, that needs speech 15. She has speech 16. So once a week, or once every day, she will make 5 ore for us in this town. If you're wondering what you can do with that, you can process the ore. So there's the light industry, which converts wheat into flour, wheat and water into beer, sugarcane into sugar. And then there is the foundry, which converts ore into ammo or ore into jewelry. Jewelry is worth a lot, and ammo you can use to defend yourselves. So a foundry would be pretty good to build as well, paired with the procurement, which we already have running, or heavy industry, which is ore and water equals building materials, or rubber equals tires. So the heavy industry leading to building materials is kind of nice because it adds building materials that you can use to then build up your city. The thing is, building materials are not in high demand around us. Middling Mountain Rest Shop supplies them, and the High Command supplies them. So if I take a look, like, if I search for has building materials, it will show me all the building material towns around me. So doesn't need. So none of the immediate cities around me need building materials. I just checked them all. So building materials would be a terrible industry to start investing in. Unless we wanted to self-invest for productivity. The other thing I could do is the cosplayer that is now in my garrison, until my prosperity reaches 10, I could also have her work some other job. Right? So I can change her job to like repairs or something. Or change her job to procurement if she had the skills for it. So she only has speech 12, so she can't be in procurement. But if she had a slightly higher speech, we would be able to put her in there. So I'm just going to decide to make a foundry. And then if I take a look at the jobs here, this is a crafting required 25, which only the technician can do. So I'm not all that interested in parting with the technician. I want her on my in my caravan. So I'm just going to keep the cosplayer as the defender, because there's really nothing else for me to do with her at the moment. And then the last thing I want to build here is the depot. Actually, I already have capacity. Never mind. I have 10k capacity. So I'm going to drop off the building materials that I have, because they weigh a lot. I only have one, but they weigh a lot. So now I'm no longer having to feed or shelter 4 people. It's only 2 people, which halves my cost of keeping this caravan running and doubles my food and water. And we are making ore per day here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go find... I want to find 2 different people. I want to find someone that can do speech for another person that does procurement, and then someone that does crafting so that they can turn the ore that we procure into jewelry. Thank you for tuning in to Dustland Delivery, which originally streamed live on Twitch July 23rd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind I've asked for no backseating and also no spoilers, so thank you for respecting that. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow drivers.